Talking with Case Press. I'm here with LFA champ, Josh Silvera. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing, man?
I'm
Good to
good,
be here.
man. I'm good. I'm happy to be talking with you. How are your holidays?
They're good, bro. They're great. I was born on Christmas, so it's just kind of a birthday into the new year, and it's pretty exciting. But I'm happy that we're moving on to the fresh year.
Born on Christmas. How
Yeah,
how is that growing up?
it was cool at first, till I was probably like 15, and then I started getting like a lot of socks, and a lot of like different stuff. And I was like, I already got this. But when you're younger, toys are intriguing and stuff. I guess when you get older, parents kind of, hey, you're 16 now. And they have to get presents for other people too. So, I just, now I'm just a kid on born on Christmas with no presents.
Do you have any birthday parties around Christmas?
Yeah, man, we always have like, cause there's always a family dinner and stuff. Um, and that would be like our party, like we have a family dinner, and then at the end there's just, the cake, and then they're like, oh, happy birthday. And then, it's a holiday, so people are enjoying it themselves too. But I don't bother me anymore. So
For sure, sure. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the second you left the cage in December, you would already be signed to the UFC and have a fight booked. Um, have you
yeah.
have you had any talks with the UFC yet?
So I not personally myself. I usually, I was so much history in MMA with my dad and Dan Lambert, and then all these other guys in the background and American Top Team, that I kind of let them just take care of what needs to, that aspect, because they've been around for so long. They just tell me what they think, and they give their opinion, and we kind of decide as a group. I know there's some things in the works. I'm not even too familiar with what's going on. I trust those guys with whatever they want to do. They know that I'll handle my part. They just got to put me on the right tracks. You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody's. I've got so many messages. UFC, what's going on, and I mean, it's nice and all, but at the end of the day, we still got to move at our pace. We got to move smart and make sure we hit our destination. You know what I mean?
Sure, for
So
sure. And before we kind of get to what's next, you had a fantastic 2021. 4 fights, 3 first round finishes, 2 titles, LFA Fighter of the Year. I mean, goddamn. Kind
yeah,
of reflect on that.
yeah. It's funny because after all of it's done, when I do look back, I'm very happy with myself, and I'm very content with how things went, the process, and the ups and the downs. But in the gist of it, while I was going through it and I was fighting every other 2 to 3 months, man, it felt like that's where I needed to be. So I'm very happy with myself, but these decisions were made a long time ago, between my team and stuff like that. So I'm happy. It's cool, but I can't wait for this year. There's just so much um things and opportunities that are going to present itself, and I'm just going to build off of that, of last year, and just keep building.
What felt better, getting your first title by a 49-second knockout or winning your second title?
um the head kick was cool, man. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen in my fights. I know what I'm capable of, but fight's a fight. So the head kick was definitely cool because I come from the grappling aspect. But I think when I won that second title and I got to, from my point of view, my perspective, fighting 5 rounds was such a high. Just I know very few people on this planet, even put themselves in that position to fight 5 rounds. It's a scary thought, getting tired, what's gonna happen. But I guess winning that second title really put the bow around everything. Really, even when I won the first belt, I knew that that was just part of the plan, and I had to keep building from there. So when I won the second one, it finally was a good breather. I think it was a good end of a chapter of the book I'm writing, or whatever you want to call it. So I felt like the second one was very emotional, and I finally got to, relax myself and calm my shoulders down, and I get to actually get back to my family and stuff like that, because it was hectic, man, getting all the way to that, to 4 fights in a year is, it's tough.
Um, it's been about a month since your since your second title win over Jared. How did you feel about that performance?
I thought it was great in the beginning. I like to go finish things. I like to go really implement my game plan and be very dominant. And then I went back and watched the film, and my dad, he talked to me too. He said, bro, you don't be upset with yourself. He's like, if anything, those 5 rounds was everything we needed. That was exactly what we needed to leave this promotion. We got 25 minutes in of work, film. Obviously there's tons of things to work on, but to be honest, I haven't cut to 185 in about 4 years. So for me to go out there and win 50-45, uh, I eventually became happy with myself, man, because I'm always on top of myself about things. And I rewatched it, and it was good. There was some moments, good moments, and moments I just need to work on. So overall, I was happy.
You snapped your 100% finish rate, but on the flip side, you went 25 minutes. And do you think that that put other fighters on notice that like you're not just a finisher, you can go 25 minutes if needed?
Of course, and not just them noticing. Um, there's a little bit of knowing yourself when you're in there, and we don't really know exactly what's going to happen until you go through it. So the process of you know, punching somebody in the fourth round, picking them up in the fifth round or whatever. I in the moment, I didn't know what exactly was going to happen. After the first, I was thinking, I'm a little tired. Holy crap. And then at the end of the second, I decided, no, 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 no. I'm supposed to be tired. Let's go fight this 5 rounds. There is a little pushback in your brain. There is a little you know, those bad thoughts that go through your head. But I guess it was good to go through that stuff, because I already know them thoughts. They're gonna come sneaking by again here and there. It's part of the game. It's part of the process. We all go through it.
Um, and I know, I mean, this might be a silly question, but you know, you'd only been to a third round one time in your pro career. And going into that last fight, did you train for 25 minutes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you got Conan Severa, my father, running your camps, everyone knows him as Mr. Circuit, and he been implementing this circuit not just for me, for other fighters that he's really close to, and for fighters that maybe he's not so close to in the training aspect. I always see him encouraging it. It's great cardio. It messes up your mind, creates chaos. Exactly what fights look like. You know what I mean? Chaos. Technique kind of goes out the window, but you got to compose yourself sometimes, and all this different stuff. Um, yeah, man, the preparation was for 5 minutes, and at the end of my preparation, there's no better feeling um, when you're not thinking about what the other guy did. When I was gonna fight Jared, I knew that in my mind, I was his problem. Because I knew the work I put in, and I didn't see none of his training, but I'm almost certain he didn't do what I did. And it comes with time, coaches, people who's been around, the block once or twice. So yeah, man, the preparation was amazing. And whatever fight I have next, that preparation is going to be even better.
How was the cut to middleweight?
The cut, it was tough, but nothing crazy. Maybe until the last, I would say, 30 hours or so, day and a half, those last 2 little pounds. Um, I guess I learned some things about myself there too. You know, I think my calculations were about a pound and a half off. So I did have to do a little suffering at the end. We all do a little suffering. We just try to minimize it. Um, when I do cut to 85 next time, I'll know exactly. Like I said, it was 4 years since I've done it. I was a young man back in the day. I was still an amateur when I did it, 29 years old, or I was 28 at the time. But so it's different when you get a couple more years on you, So it was good. It was good. Not too bad, but could have done better.
When you eventually make it to the big show, are you going to fight at middleweight, or are you going to stick at light heavyweight?
That's one of the things, that's what we're working on too, that Dan and my dad, we're trying to work on what route's good for me. Obviously I fought most of my fights at 205. A lot of people think I'm on the smaller end, and I don't blame them for it, but one thing about me is I wrestled 197 in college. That's right below heavyweight. So I know how to deal with big guys. I train with a bunch of badass 205 pounders in the gym, tons of them in there. And then I have middleweights too in the gym, so I think we're gonna see a little bit of who knows, man, maybe jump around a little bit. You see a lot of wrestlers in the wrestling world. They always jumping around in weights, always trying to do things like that. It's getting more popular in MMA. So let's see. I just want to get some good fights in. I want to keep building my career. I only have 11 fights total, including my amateur. If you look at what we're dealing with nowadays, there's guys who they have a lot of experience. Even though I'm a double champ, I love it. Don't get me wrong; it's amazing, but we still have to respect the game, and get seasoned a little bit more, get a little bit sharper. So we'll see what weight comes next.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You kind of just mentioned right there, but who are some of your training partners? I mean, the the gym is full of killers at ATT, but who are some of the ones that you train with?
So in the beginning, I trained a lot. Me and Austin Banford always train. He's gonna fight for a Bellator title. We're always training. One guy that we used to train a lot back in the day, and then he had to eventually fight what's his name? Jared Neal or something Neal in the UFC, Santiago Ponzinibbio. So we trained a little bit when he was on the heavier side. Obviously, when he starts cutting weight, he'll find someone a little bit more his size. But we wrestled a lot and a lot of stand-up. Santiago. There's a guy named Bruno Assis. He fights in the LFA. He's a tall guy. He's the one. He was like my Jared. He was like my over-exaggerated Jared. Way taller than Jared, longer than Jared, and those sparrings were tough. There's a couple guys. I worked with Dalton Rasta or Dalton Rasta. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Rasta, I believe. Johnny Eblin, that's another guy. Me and Tiago Maheta, we're always working together. Let me think here. There's always, man. Felipe Lins, he's moving down to 205. I think he has a fight in a couple months, or they're working on his thing. There's just tons of guys. There's so many guys that you'll be lucky to get the same guy, back to back. Unless there's some specific training, but that's what it's all about, man. Getting different looks, get a different feels. So I'm always dealing with big guys, always.
Yeah, you just listed just some fucking killers.
Yeah. This just our gym is one of those. It's one of those gyms where you can't believe that everybody decided to come, over here, and they believe in the process, the team. It's just a different vibe. American Top Team is just a different vibe, man.
For sure. I did want to ask you, man. So, I mean, do you feel a lot of pressure being the son of the legend Conan Silveira?
I get that question quite a bit sometimes, because obviously my dad is a pioneer. I guess growing up, I always had this determination in my mind. I kind of wanted to do something, I want to be a fighter and I want to do this, but I always wanted to be better than my dad, you know, and he's always encouraged me for that stuff. And I think in the beginning, it was a little bit of pressure when I first started doing jujitsu. And then when I stepped into the wrestling world, you know, and I went to college for wrestling and stuff, I felt like I've all, as a, you know, as like a member of my family, I felt like I've achieved a lot of goals and dreams just from my parents being, my mom's Brazilian too, you know, and they came here in the 90s and worked their asses off. So I think just in that aspect, you know, it pushed me to not really have pressure, but motivation. Use my father as an advantage, you know, use everything around me as an advantage and stay humble at the same time. But, you know, I'm very fortunate to be born, you know, with Carson Gracie growing up, Vitor Belfort, like these names that are legends now, and it's kind of insane. But it was always such a, you know, regular lifestyle for me, you know. So I never try to put too much pressure, but I know it's there, you know. But it is what it is.
Sure, for sure. That it's such a fascinating insight into your brain with that.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next, man? Do you want to sign with the UFC, sign with Bellator, sign with PFL? Do you want to go defend your belts? What's next?
So basically, defending the belts, I don't think that's gonna be necessarily an option anymore. You know, I think the LFA is a type of organization they like to send their guys away. Um, I think as far as what's next, when you look at Bellator, PFL, UFC, you know, my gym's full of guys that are in there already. You know, so we take a lot of those things, you know, in consideration and stuff like that. Even though if we got to fight each other, we got to fight each other. But we kind of try to plan it all on the board, you know, and see what's best for Josh. I know, people say Bellator pays very well for some, blue chip type of fighters. They pay very well. And then UFC has great representation. You go to the UFC, everybody knows you. And PFL is that $1 million tournament that who doesn't want a million, and PFL has like a season more. It's more of like a season type, So I think you got to take that all into consideration and see what kind of what fits out for me. I feel like whatever fits my team is gonna fit for me. I don't want no false sense of confidence. I mean, my friends, I love my friends, but they'll send me to they'll send me to freaking fight the baddest man in the planet right now. And if I'm not prepared for that, they don't care. They just want to see me. They want to see me in that high stage. But there's a price you got to pay for that stuff. If you want to make it to the top, you got to make sure you're ready for the top, and there's some things I got to work on and stuff like that. So I don't want to make decisions that is going to cost me at the end. A lot of guys in this position, though, they would have been fighting, they would have been a phone call. Hey, we need a guy weeks out. That's not always the best thing for your career. You know what I mean? So I think we just got to sit back. I think with the new year, it slowed everything down. I think everyone's getting back to work. Probably this week or so. So I think we'll be seeing some stuff. By next week for sure. I don't want to say anything too crazy, and get everyone really excited or whatever the case might be. But, we're just getting started, and wherever I'll go, I just know I'll take care of the people around me. That's what I really want. I want to use this, something I use. I love MMA. I love combat. I love learning about these types of things, jujitsu, all that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing lifestyle. But at the end of the day, I want to use that to take care of the people that's helped me get this far.
Perfect world tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get the phone call. Which organization are you going to?
When I get the phone call, which organization?
Perfect world. This is a perfect world. Hypothetical. Which one you going to?
Oh man. I think if I had the perfect world, I think everybody everybody wants to say, UFC, obviously, like that's like the answer that everyone looks for. I just been around it for so long. I think been around UFC before UFC started. So I don't have that. I don't have like that dart there. I mean, the PFL $1 million, that sounds good too. And I know the middleweight for Bellator, it's stacked. They just signed Pat Downey. I don't know if Bellator would necessarily um need another competitive person in that weight. A lot of it's political and money and stuff like that too. But you know, I really don't know, man. I think I'm just enjoying this where I'm at right now, and I'm actually taking a breath, and I'm pumping on the brakes for the first time. I think I'm just taking this in. I think we're so eager to get to the big show that we forget, like, this is the journey. This is what I've been waiting for since I was a kid. Like, these little details. And I think once I get past these little emotions and feelings, and I get my head on right, and I could pick a solid decision, I think wherever you'll see me is exactly would have been the perfect world. So sorry I can't answer that question directly, but
All
you
good.
know, I'll probably, my father would probably get upset with me too if I something directly.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Just a couple things before I let you go, man. What was the reception like after winning the second belt with your family? Because I know that was one of the big goals that your dad wanted, right? Was for you to
Yeah.
do that. What was the reception like?
I think, man, deep down inside, on my dad's aspect, it was such a goal for him too. It was my goal, but deep down inside, he had this thing where, I had to go do it, but I know he wanted it so bad. And I think out of all the guys he's trained and all the people that my families have been around, I think this is a whole new experience for them, with the history that we have. I think this is just a whole new experience where um it's kind of neat to be, growing up, you see your family working on all these fighters and all these superstars, Jeff Munson and all these guys. You're just growing up watching these guys try to create a career, and then you kind of, when it's your turn, I almost have like a seasoned team around me. They're so ready for what's next. So I think when that happened and I won that belt, no one was surprised, but at the same time, everyone is finally seeing me. What's that one saying? You get to pick the fruits of your labor, or stuff like that. Yeah, they finally see me, you know, getting back what I put in. And I think from my mom, from my cousins, I was that little kid that wanted to be an MMA fighter in the beginning, and they're just, you're all right, man, your dad, you want to be like your dad, huh? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then they see me going step by step, college wrestling, and then now I'm here, and I think for everybody, it's a good feeling for all of us. I feel like we're all winning. I like to put that pressure and that team right on my back and let's go win it together. I love that feeling, man. You know, I always tell people, pass me the ball at the last couple seconds. I'm gonna make it. I don't care. Don't pass it. No, pass it to me. Let me take care of it. You know. So yeah, man, it was great. It was great.
That's fantastic. And then we talked off camera, but the mullet, huh?
Yeah, mullet, man. I don't know, man. I started growing it maybe my second fight in going into the LFA. And I don't know, I saw mullets, jean pants, jean jackets, they're all coming back in styles. Who cares? I just turned 29, gonna be 30 soon. Maybe I might not want a mullet at 30. Might be, I'm still kind of a kid inside. I'm always gonna be a kid, but might as well grow the mullet out, see what turns out, have people make fun of me a little bit. It's all good. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Josh. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Okay, I appreciate it. So my social media, it's JM Da Silv. So it's basically JMDASILV, just like Da Silveira, but just end at the V. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter. My Facebook's obviously my name. Some shout outs to some sponsors that have been with me since um, my second, third fight. You know, they've been around. Skilled Violence, Bow Valley Barbecue. If you're down in Miami, you got Miami empanadas. You know, the really good empanadas. I got my buddies in DeFi Boost, working with cryptos and stuff. I'm really heavy into crypto and all that. I enjoy that. Um, and yeah, man, I got some other sponsors. I can't think of them right now, but I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Sometimes it feels like a dream, but then I know we're right where we need to be. And there's no better feeling than having a beautiful people around you supporting you, man. So I appreciate everyone who's behind me, man, since day one. And if not, you know, come on board. We're nice over here. But yeah, and I appreciate you, man. I haven't done an interview in a while, so this was cool.
Awesome, Josh. I think everybody's going to be on the Josh Silvera train very, very soon, and the future is very bright.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it a lot. Have a happy, good year, and let's get it, man. A lot more victories in front of us.